Dude, don't get the polio vaccine, okay? They're putting trackers in it. Amelia didn't have it, and that's why we can't find her.
She's the one person that should have got it. She left you for the sky, George. Can't you get that through your tiny glasses?
Look, I'm not going to marry you until you declare your ex dead.
Come on. You got to get over it.
I mean, are you still holding that hope? Could you imagine your drunk husband comes home with 2 holes in his head, and you're like, what the fuck? You drove here? How is that possible? I feel like you're better at the intros. I'm going to be honest.
All right,
do it.
Welcome to Overshadowed Podcast, everybody. The one and only podcast.
Never mind. I take it back.
Okay, I got it.
All right.
Welcome to Overshadowed Podcast, everybody. The podcast that talks... fuck me.
Okay.
Now,
2 strikes. Fool me twice.
Look,
well, you can't
I can't fool you enough. It doesn't matter to you. You're still going to pay me. Welcome to Overshadowed Podcast.
I don't pay you.
Fuck, dude. I was making a joke about the restaurant.
Oh, I see.
$60.
No, I'll never pay you for this. Even when we blow up, you won't get a cent from Overshadowed. But hit me with that intro, though.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Overshadowed Podcast, the only podcast that talks about the siblings of famous and infamous people throughout history.
And the spouses.
I'm
Zach.
I'm Charles, and welcome to an exciting episode today. We're talking about somebody that you've probably never thought about in your entire life, Amelia Earhart's one and only husband, and maybe the reason why she rose to fame.
Absolutely. The reason was the plane.
Yes. Amelia was George's second wife.
They got married in 1931, 6 years before she ghosted him.
She was on her way to fame. She was a very successful...
Actually, she wasn't.
You don't think so?
She was a then unknown aviatrix, which is what they called lady pilots.
That sounds very sexy.
I know. Can you
sounds
just
like
add
you're tying me up in
IX?
the sky.
I know.
Gagging me in the plane.
Yeah, put my jaw around the what do you call those things? The
ball.
What the fuck? The throttle, the lever.
Put your jaw.
I've never
around
been
it?
you know what I mean? In the car. What's that? The stick.
Yeah, but what are you saying? Your jaw's around it?
Yeah, it's a ball.
Oh, and you're like,
yeah.
You use
she
the back of
used
your
her
head
to put it in gear. So she was, that's what she did to make money before she met George.
And then George.
She tied up men in the sky. But no, she was picked by George.
Yes.
To represent women in aviation. And we'll get into that as we get into George's life and how he meets Amelia. But George was one of the most famous promoters of his time. He was I think he ended up being kind of like a star maker. Charles Lindbergh made a ton of money off of the book that he wrote and published for him. Millions. He was a mayor of Bend, Oregon. He explored the Antarctic. I mean, this guy, he's kind of like Richard Two Gun Hart if he didn't lie about everything.
Yes.
He's like Richard if everything he said was true.
Yeah. You're right.
That's kind of the life he lives.
The life that Richard wanted.
Yeah. And he was never once found in a shack down by the river, nor was he beaten blind. So those are some key differences. The George Putnam we're covering today, he had a whole life before he met Amelia.
Yeah.
But once he met Amelia, they rose together.
Yes.
And she was flying, and she was a competent pilot, but there's no way she would have gotten famous or gotten the opportunities she could have gotten without the help of George.
Yes.
So he did all this stuff. He accomplished all this stuff even before his marriage to Amelia, which may have been open based on letters that she wrote him. And he's no stranger to his wife having sex with other people, which we'll get into. But first, let's start where we always do, the beginning. All right, so let me tell you this before we get going. I was looking up George Putnam, and he's overshadowed by a number of other George Putnams. There's this guy in the 60s who comes up, I think, first in Google. He's a newsman, a conservative TV news reporter and talk show host in L.A. He was famous for the phrase, and that's the up-to-the-minute news. Up to the minute, that's all the news.
Whoa.
It's like, what?
That's a lot.
It's a pretty great slogan. It's kind of sounds like something Trump would say if he ran Fox News, which is probably in his future one day.
Oh, definitely.
And he's going to be the president at the same time. This guy, George Newsman Putnam, made a film called Perversion for Profit, funded by Citizens for Decent Literature Incorporated, attacking nude magazines and gay people, saying that calling gays perverted misfits who corrupted our society, that kind of thing.
Well, that guy was in the closet.
Absolutely. He's like, I'm such a misfit.
Yeah. You're so perverted.
Jerking off to Adonis magazine.
Yeah.
It's funny. All the gay magazines are like Manpower. And it's all kind of disguised as weightlifting.
That's hilarious.
On the cover, but then you open it up and it's like a guy running naked across a window.
That's hilarious.
I watched some of the film Perversion for Profit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just him showing porn. Like he's like a talking head in the classroom, and he's like, "This is corrupting our society," and then it cuts to porn magazines like Sextet and Manual.
All porn or just gay porn?
All porn.
Oh, okay.
And like the nipples are blurred out, but it's still a naked woman. And you got to imagine some kids are jerking off to pervert. He's like, "You've seen Perversion for Profit? It's one of my favorites."
Yeah, dude, go to 38. You can totally make out the blur.
Right. It's like Girls Gone Wild.
Yeah.
These girls are in real trouble. Everyone's like, yeah. I'll put them in trouble. I'll put you in timeout.
What did they do? Tell me.
What did they do? So it's all porn. It's flashing all this porn, and I was kind of waiting for him to be like, "Even now, I find myself titillated by the nude imagery and stirred to unwilling arousal."
Even now, I find myself.
Look at my boner. I'm
I'm absolutely titillated.
I'm perverted, and they're making money off it. Every boner you pop, another dollar goes into the hands of the skis balls. Which, by the way, I got 2 full skis balls ready to pop.
Sooner or later, they're going to own the world at this rate.
So that's one George Putnam, who
Okay.
I'm like, this guy's kind of an asshole, but he's not the guy we're going to be covering. There's another George Putnam, which was his grandpa, who founded this publishing company that that Mr. Earhart ended up working for. You know, it's what like she wanted that people called him, basically, Mr. Earhart,
Yeah, that's so funny.
which is wild.
Yeah, but the last name is cool.
Earhart is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's she was made for the skies.
Mhm.
She has hollow bones.
Yeah.
I heard that's how she could fly so well. What was I going to say about Amelia?
You know how they discovered that? One day the dad got mad at her, shaking baby syndrome, threw her out the window, and she just floated like a leaf. This baby was born for the skies!
like one of those seeds that helicopters down.
Georgie,
Georgie.
born and raised in Rye. He was, as we've just talked about, he was the son of a very wealthy publishing company. He went to Harvard. He went to UC Berkeley.
Yeah. He grew up in a pretty white place. Also, what do you think
Super
this guy looks like?
Okay, he looks very tall to me.
Lanky.
I gotta guess
looming.
like 6'6".
Yeah. That's pretty tall.
That's super tall. He looks very tall. Yeah, very lanky, very looming, a little ominous.
Right, like maybe Slender Man when he was like normal.
Yes.
Before he became so slender and mannish.
Yep.
Right.
You think he looks like Clark Kent a little bit?
I kind of do.
Okay.
In the face.
All right, I could see that. American face for sure.
He's got an American face.
He's got an American face. He's got
And-
pale skin. This guy is white.
I mean, the pictures were black and white.
Yeah, well, I mean,
You're
was
not getting a lot of
mostly
hue
white.
in those
Yeah, no, you could
cheeks.
tell he was whiter than everybody.
Yeah.
I looked up Rye, New York. I went there. I went there a couple of years ago for
Really?
my cousin's. I went to Rye for my cousin's wedding.
Oh.
So we had to take a.
I was in sourdough at that time.
Yeah. Oh, nice. I thought you were in wheat.
I was in Split Top. Yeah, there's a ski resort called Split Top.
I like Muffin Top. But I went to
Everybody
Rye
does.
is one of those places that you don't think exists. It's like a foresty,
Hmm.
very green. You can barely see the houses as
Oh,
you're
I love
driving
those
through.
neighborhoods.
And when you do get a peek at the house, they are castles.
Yeah.
They're huge. Everybody lives in a Gatsby house.
Colorful shirts flying out the windows
Yeah,
at all hours.
Yeah, there's the green eyes of T.J. Eckelberg.
Pretty good.
Nice, thanks, man. You ever see a house where you're like, I'm never gonna?
Oh, yeah.
I'll
Nor do
never.
I even want, I mean, so much to clean. I like making excuses
I like when people
that.
say that about that. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't clean that house. Like, yeah, you wouldn't be cleaning that house.
Yeah.
I have a $20 million house, and I'll tell you, the worst part is me cleaning.
Dusting. I hate dusting.
I think
I sunk all the money in the house. I don't have anyone to take care of it.
And just to tell you how white and rich Rye is, I looked up the current day stats. I also looked up the median salary, hoping everybody would be making like $3 million. The median salary is $80,000, which
What? Oh, that's
I
the
know.
median, though.
But there's got to be. I mean, it's millionaires who are living there. So maybe there's a part of
Yeah,
Rye
but
that
there's
we don't
also
know
people
about.
who work at the restaurants
Yeah,
and
you're
everyone
right.
who supports
Yes.
the millionaires.
But George is from the millionaire era.
Yeah.
But here's the current demographic of people in Rye. Whiteys, there's 13,200. There's 989 Asian. I don't know why they count it.
I just read the next one.
Yeah, 2 or more races. Whoa. Got a little Ben and Jerry's in you. Got a cream-filled center.
You got to pick 2.
Yeah, you can't just do, what are you, ham, pineapple? Huh? You both?
Ham and pineapple, Ben and Jerry's.
No, I mean like the pizza.
That's going to be Joe Biden's flavor. Yeah, come on, man.
Come on, man. Ham, pineapple.
You don't like ham and pineapple?
That's him trying to appeal to young people. Ham, pineapple pizza. Bringing everybody together, man. Come on.
Best state in the nation.
He falls off a pogo
Everybody
stick.
loves it. Everyone's like, well, he shouldn't have been on it.
Yeah, it's a pogo.
Democrats,
Come
he
on.
shouldn't have been on. The Republicans set him up. I bet he can't land a pogo.
Who is he borrowing that pogo stick from? Tucker Carlson.
Who bought it from Saudi Arabia?
From Pogosaurus. Soros.
Pogo Soros.
That's how he made his money, you know. Pogos.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's fewer than 1,000 Asians and 2 or more races. I like on the sense whenever you fill out at the doctors, are like Hispanic or cool.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like, do they have that in other countries? In Sweden, Hispanic or not Hispanic? There's no way. There's no way in Germany they have like French or not French. We got to be the only country.
Yeah, that's doing the stats.
That's doing the Hispanic binary system.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Are you Hispanic?
And then they separately have you put your race.
Yeah, then you got to go non-Hispanic.
It's wild.
Well, then what are you?
Right.
You're like, all right, I want to get my throat checked, urgent care.
Do you have to put Hispanic twice if you are Hispanic?
You got a Hispanic doctor, a guy who just knows, is the body that different if I am Hispanic? Do you need to bring out a guy trained in a different field? I got an MD in Hispanic medicine. We need an El Doradan doctor here, please, from the City of Gold.
Their skin's more like tortilla than anything. So we really need.
And you got to know which type of skin, corn or flour.
Yeah, corn or flour. It's very detailed. You got to go to a whole different escuela. Oh, we got to send this guy to a hospital for the proper tratamiento.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at Spanish. We should try to do a whole app in Spanish.
Sick.
Give me the rest of the stats, though.
And there's only 328 black people in Rye.
Dude,
Rye. So
you
they like their they know what they like in Rye.
Yeah.
They like it white. They like it rich. So this is a neighborhood full of just mostly rich whiteys.
Right.
Very, very rich.
Who keep getting robbed by 328 other people. Hey, you one of the 328? That's the gang. It's just every black person in Westchester has to stick together.
Yeah.
You got to believe that if you are black, you're looking up those stats before you move to a neighborhood.
Oh, for sure. My black friends, when they tell me about things, are like, I'm thinking about going to this place. And I'm like, oh. And they're like, no. And I was like, why? They're like, oh, I looked up on YouTube. It's not good for black people. I was like, oh, I haven't thought about that.
Yeah, you're always like, well, is it like close to a train? You know, do they have a pickleball court? For us whites.
Is there how many frisbee golf courses am I near?
Yeah.
I just want to know. How many equinoxes
Is there
are
a
there?
Blick Art nearby? Is there
an oxygen bar?
Yeah, what else do we got for
What
white?
do whites do?
Is
Juice?
is there like axe throwing accessible by
How
foot?
many escape rooms are there? I want multiple rooms to escape.
And like the brunch scene. How is the brunch scene?
How is the avocado
Mike Vecchione
toast?
has a great joke about brunch, how it unites the races. He's like, 'cause what all the white people love? Breakfast. White people love breakfast. And what do black people love? Being 2 hours late for shit. Brunch. Okay, so that's where George is growing up.
He's grown up in a very wealthy upstate New York.
He went to Harvard.
neighborhood.
He went to University of California.
Yeah.
This guy's ivory tower.
Yeah, he's in the elite.
Ritzy. But everybody and everybody in this story that we talk about came from wealth.
Yes.
I think maybe except for Amelia.
Amelia, I don't think was
modest.
wealthy. I think she was like, I think they were born like in the middle of America.
Right.
And
Kansas.
So that's, yes.
So he got married in 1911 to never forget to Dorothy Dulfrey Binney,
daughter of another huge company, the company that created Crayola, Binney and Smith.
Yeah, she's a crayon queen.
She's a crayon queen, baby.
Yeah,
that's what they called her around town. Cranny Smith.
Cranny Smith.
There we go.
Yeah, hey, that's pretty
That's
good.
Cranny Smith.
I like that. Cranny Smith.
There she goes.
So he married Doffrey, is what they called Dorothy Binney.
Mm-hmm.
Doffrey, who came from big crayon money. And I did used to love crayons. They're just satisfying to write with. Do you remember any of these retired colors? We looked up some retired colors.
Yeah, I do have some retired colors. I don't know why, but
why? Yeah, I guess there's only so big a box.
Yeah, and they have.
You want to have
choose.
a standard 12.
That's true. Here are some of the retired ones. We got Thistle, Tula Blue, Mulberry, Orange Yellow.
Who are you to draw the crayon? You must have it out your box.
Take me out the box.
Orange Yellow, I can't believe they took out. That was one of my favorites.
Sorry, man. I didn't even know it was around.
That's unbelievable. You're just like mixing orange and yellow, making your own.
I didn't really use crayons
Like
that
a
much.
painter.
Yeah.
I didn't either, but whenever I did, I liked it.
Okay.
I actually felt like I could never make anything close to artistic with a crayon.
Yeah. It's tough.
It was like writing with your fist.
Yeah.
I feel kind of like a caveman.
Yeah, you can only draw circles. I would always make sure I drew the sun. That's a sun. Sun's always in the corner.
Sun is key.
That's when you're young. You're always drawing a sun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good sun.
Yeah.
Those are birds.
That's a good sun. That's what I always wanted to hear. I never got it, so I just had to draw it.
No, that's a good sun.
Cue Pearl Jam. Jeremy spoken. I slit my throat with a crayon. You know that song's about a kid killing himself.
Yes.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure the reference was caught on you. I wonder if they had any like. So this was 1911 that crayons were popping off.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to imagine there's got to be some
offensive
some
colors.
dicey ones.
Yeah, peach, pink.
Barely legal peach.
Yeah. Barely legal. Yeah.
Retired as soon as it was suggested.
Privileged what? No, that's
Butthole brown pink.
Butthole brown. Yeah.
You know how butthole is kind of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been stained.
You got light butthole, dark butthole.
Yeah.
Light brown, dark brown.
Which one? Bleach butthole.
They did have light gray. It's hard to come up with some canceled crayon names.
Yeah, we can keep going.
We can keep going. Magic Mint, Blizzard Blue. I mean, these. It's almost like if anyone should have been sued for making their non-edible products sound edible, it's crayons.
That's true. They didn't
Magic Mint.
Yeah,
That's
who's
a
not
ice
take
cream
a bite of it?
flavor. Yeah, who's not going to get a few scoops?
I wonder if adults were using crayons back then too, and they were
Mulberry. Everything is a food.
Yeah, why don't you just call it pizza pie?
Ham, pink, grape. I think grape is one. They had orange red too. God, they're really hating on the orange.
They canceled a lot of blues as well.
Oh yeah, mostly
So
blues.
many
maize. One of them is maize.
Yeah, it's corn.
They're all foods.
Yeah.
That's probably why they retired them.
Yeah, they're like, too many people are dying from eating these specific crayons. We whittled it down. People are not eating butthole brown yet. In the future, they will be.
Right, but that's for now. That's good. That's
Yeah.
safe for kids.
Yes, during the Great Depression.
Yeah, they ate the dog, then the crayons. Raw umber. What is umber?
No idea.
I know Amber.
Oh, you know her?
Amber Heard. Yeah, yeah. We were pretty close during the trial.
So you got two powerhouses coming together. That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
power couple right there. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean she's an heiress to art supplies.
Crayola. And Crayola blew up like immediately.
Yeah.
It's like Liquid Death. You know Liquid Death, the water company? It went to like $1 billion.
Of course I know it.
It went to like $1 billion in the first year.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I can't
That's what I'm
believe
saying.
that. I can't believe that. I mean, I do, but like, it's so crazy that was so
I
profitable.
know.
It's just
You
water
heard the
in a
marketing
can.
story, right?
No.
The whole marketing story is this guy who I think was already wealthy. Like he probably was like in a Twitter or whatever, something like that. He created the water, and his marketing story was that everything tries to promote as like a superfood or
Right.
how good it is for you. So why not go the opposite?
Right.
Hence Liquid Death.
Oh,
And
like cigarettes.
It blew up.
I see. So they get married. Is Dorothy cute? I don't remember. I think she's all right.
Yeah, it's
I think
usually
she's all
cutie.
right. I think
She's
everyone in
she's a
here is
patootie at
6,
least.
like she's at minimum a patootie. I think everyone in this story is a 5 or above.
Yes.
It's safe to say.
There's
Probably
no-
a 6 and above.
Amelia? What's Amelia though?
No comment.
Okay.
Is there anything else that happens before they move to bed? Yeah, so for some reason, they move from Dorothy and George Palmer, move to Arnold Palmer, from Rye, New York to Bend, Oregon,
Mm-hmm.
in the West Coast. I don't know why. Like
I think
he gets
just
a
got
job,
a job
as
opportunity.
yeah, looking for the newest color of crayon.
Yeah, they got to go dig in the hills.
Yeah, find some truffle color. Nobody knows what it looks like. He's just had a few pigs come back smelling delicious, and we have to know what's making them smell so good. But they moved to Bend, Oregon, and George begins a career as the editor and publisher of like the Bend Bulletin.
Yeah,
Or
something
some
like,
bullshit local newspaper.
and it's like there's only 300 people who live
That's
there.
the crazy. So he becomes mayor. So they get married the year after he becomes mayor of
Mhm.
Bend from 1912 to 1913. And you're like, oh, okay, mayor. That sounds pretty legit. He controls all the cops and firemen.
Yeah.
But then I looked into what Bend is. In 1904, which is 8 years before he became mayor, it had 300 people and just was incorporated into a city. Wasn't even a city. It was just like a tent village.
Yeah, I feel like he was.
There was a bunch of caves.
I feel like if you're mayor of a town that's 300 people, you're less of a mayor and more of like a student body president. It's just like, what do you really? I mean, my
I
high
don't
school
know.
had 500 people at it.
Yeah.
And I was VP, so
Yeah.
I had more authority. I feel like George, what's on the docket? And he's like, we're gonna plan winter social. It's gonna be fun.
Right, yeah, it's going to be
And,
the cafeteria.
Dress code: women, no skirts above your knees.
Right.
In Bend.
It's going to be the town mess hall.
Yeah.
I feel like they had a mess hall where everybody gathered for their rations. It was just like a soup line.
Just serving square
We
pizza.
got raccoon soup today. Oh, good. We got some
Yes.
meat.
Nah, aren't you
I don't know why
Are
they
you George
talk
Palmer
like that.
Putnam? Is that the heiress to Cran?
Yeah.
Why do you guys live here?
So they bought this like $4,000
It's like when
house.
Chappelle moved to like Ohio.
Ohio,
You're just
yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
I don't know. Well, they bought. I mean, I guess they bought a big old house, and 4,000 back then was like I think at least $1 million or something crazy.
Probably had. Yeah, it was probably just really beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I think
they're rich.
It actually was. Bend is nice, and they both like outdoorsy stuff. I think,
Yeah.
and they would have. Dorothy actually had like socials at the house and like had parties and stuff. So she was trying to be like the mayor's wife, like entertaining people.
Sure.
And people really liked her.
First lady.
She was very affable. She knew a lot of stuff. She the first lady of Bend. What an honor. But threw a bunch of parties and shit. The first mayor of Bend, just FYI, was A.H. Goodwillie. Which, that's got to be a bummer if you have sex with him and you're like, oh, it's not even good.
This is a bad Willie. You should have been A.H. Sad Willie. This thing is bad Willie. Should
have been A.H. Tiny Hog.
It must have been hilarious
Piglet.
living in times where those are people's last names. I know. I'm Zach Hickory Hog.
There's so many weird names in this. There's a guy in Amelia Earhart's story named D.L. Hoodless who found some bones on an island. They're like, maybe they're Amelia's. And he's like, I don't think they're Amelia's. They belong to a man of Eastern European descent. And then he threw out the bones.
Whoa.
He just discarded
conspiracy.
them. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And his name's Hoodless.
Yeah, that's a lot of
weird
first draft
names.
last names back then.
So he leaves the mayorage.
George, wait.
What's up? He was a mayor.
He leaves Ben to become a private secretary for
the
mayorage. I'm thinking of Wythacombe, sorry.
It sounded like
Back up.
marriage. Marriage.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I thought you were skipping to marriage.
No. I was doing no, Chuck. It's a very real word called marriage that sounds like marriage, but it ain't. He was a 1-year mayor. He was married to the town for 1 year, and then he divorced it. And then he decided to be the private secretary of James Withicombe, who was the governor of Oregon. I don't know what that means.
Is there a public secretary?
Like someone who like keeps the calendar and it sits outside of his office.
And then you do all the slimy shit.
Yeah.
What does Cheryl do?
She just takes calls and, manages my day.
What about George? I always see him run around.
He's always in a tree at a building your wife works at.
Yeah, what's that? He's got binoculars and a black trench coat. What is he doing?
Yeah, Debbie gets me coffee. George spies on my wife.
Yeah. He also gets me coffee, but he does.
Yeah, it's from my wife's office to prove he was there.
To prove that she's drinking. I need her lipstick on the cup.
I need a lot. Yeah.
That needs to be hers. From the lipstick, I can tell she's kissed another man.
Right. It's a little more faint today. That whore.
Fucking. I used to spy on I spied on my ex once.
Oh no.
For a long time.
Private
Not just once. During the relationship. I knew it was.
Man.
I had suspicion.
Wow. Gone guy.
Suspicion.
You're gone guy. Gone girl. It's all about a guy.
She put all the stuff in my face. I had to do it.
That's what happened in Gone Guy.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, the guy was oblivious and like not realizing his wife was like right there. Tailing him.
Dang.
Anyway,
no,
so you you were in an ice cream van with the little headphones on and a satellite. You had a team of forest animals who were on your side.
It's more just my 01 Camry. I couldn't afford a van. Right. Just in the front seat.
Fully reclined.
No tint.
Yep. You're staring through like a submarine thing. To see
out
through
the sunroof. It's a bunch of straws I taped. I can't really see.
Put some mirrors in the straws.
Your mom's mirror. You know that mirror everybody has at their house?
Yeah.
That little square on the princess mirror. Who is that? It looks a lot like my boyfriend. Same license plate, Chuck's.
Forearm.
With an X.
So what did you find?
I just tried to see if she was hooking up with other guys because I had caught her. We had lived together, and then she was like, I want to live by myself. And I was like, that's a canary coming out coughing right there. It's over. And I was like, we could just break up.
That's de-escalation when you should have shot him.
Yeah. And I was like, this is breaking up. And she was like, no, I still want to be together. And I was like, I caught her deleting texts. Now she wants a different apartment. I was like, but I was too sad. I was like, we should still be together because I was sad.
Damn.
And then I used to sneak to her new apartment because the back door was always, it needed a key fob, but you could pry it open with your fingers.
Wow.
Like the train doors. You know how a train door?
Wow.
And I would go to her apartment and just listen. It was the only thing I could do to see if she was like having sex with a guy.
Pretty creepy.
Because I was like, you're deleting texts. You're getting a new place.
How old were you?
22.
All right.
It's young enough.
All right.
And it's
it
also
is young
not
enough.
totally irrational.
So what was it? What did you hear?
I never heard anything. So I was like, I
that's-
can't catch you on this, but like I told you a million times I would catch her deleting group texts, like you'd see the bubbles. She would like go to the bathroom and like not leave. She would come home drunk, go to the bathroom, not close the door all the way because she was drunk, and I'd be like, and I'd peer in the bathroom, and she'd be sitting on the toilet just deleting texts.
Interesting. In
and
group
I'd
chats?
see they'd be group chats because you could see the I saw the multiple names, and I was like,
this is a big crack.
then
you
I'd open
got
the-
some good
Yeah,
eyes.
dude. Yeah.
She's
No,
not
she
noticing
was
this.
just
What
a
is she
loose
like showing her your
pistache.
cards? I want you to win. Go fish.
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy.
Yeah,
How can you
dude.
see all this shit?
Well, the toilet was right near the door.
You see your shit?
I saw her.
You're like another girl poop.
And then I opened the door once, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And she was like, "Oh," and I was like, "You're deleting group text." And she goes, "It's not a group text. It's one person." I go,
Well, that's worse.
"No, this is what it was. She was deleting people. It was a guy's names." And I was like, "What are you doing?" She goes, "Nothing. It's a group text." And I go, "Sweet group name, John." I was like, "What a good group. That's a good name for a group, John."
Big Cock John.
Yeah, I like that name.
Interesting. Okay.
Can I be a part of it, or? Anyway, let's get back into that. Okay, so 1916, he moves back to New York as a publisher in his family business. Goes back to the family. 1916, World War I breaks out. This guy's serving in the military.
Oh,
serves
yeah.
in World War I. Then, as every rich kid gets to, he gets to go on an expedition, baby. He goes to Canada.
More than a vacation.
I mean, I would love to go on an expedition.
It's a vacation where you get logged into the annals of history.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty sweet.
He went to
get logged in the history annals?
Yeah, I would love to. I'd love to get locked.
Hey, man, that's what we're doing with this pod.
We are.
We're
logging.
we're priming the hole right now.
But he goes to.
We're just rimming history's annals right now. We're gonna get in there soon.
Okay, so he gets allowed to go on this expedition in 1926 under the sponsorship of the American Museum of Natural History. He led an expedition to the Arctic, up to the west coast of Greenland. Then the following year, he headed another expedition for the American Geographic Society to collect wildlife specimens on Baffin Island in Canada. How do you get all this? He had connections. His granddad got the museum connections through the Met. Of course, all these rich people are going to be connected. They're going to have sweet.
I think he was one of the founders of the Met or something.
mean,
These people are
great.
big. He's big cran, married to big museum, which is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
You don't want a cran in a museum.
I don't know.
They'll tackle you.
Right all over
If
the
you,
walls.
if you show up with a cran, you're getting tackled by somebody. Wearing
What do you think of that
wearing a
form of
radio.
protest, by the way, that people are doing, like throwing soup on art?
I mean, I think it's a waste of soup,
Me too.
and that's my biggest problem with it. Don't they usually have glass over the art though?
Yeah.
So it doesn't even matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It's dumb.
It's stupid. I don't
Okay,
get
let me tell you some of the. I couldn't find the animals that he did expedite.
it. That he 2-day shipped back to become invasive. Is he the guy who introduced iguanas to Florida? Because
Yeah.
they're invasive, and
They
you
are
can
invasive.
kill them.
You can kill them. I know. There's all these videos of people killing them.
It's crazy.
People have no sympathy for them.
They're majestic. They're beasts.
I think they're beautiful, but when
I
you
do
live there,
too.
I think they're annoying. It's like kangaroos in Australia. They're like, fuck them, and you're like,
Dude, there's a video of Woody Allen from the 1960s in a boxing ring with a kangaroo they doped up, and he's like boxing the kangaroo. It's wild.
jeez.
I'm like, why? This kangaroo is trained pretty well, and all the comments were like, he's on ketamine, he's doped
Yeah.
up, he's in a K-hole right now.
Yeah,
He doesn't know where he
he's
is.
having an existential crisis.
Yeah, he's already KO'd.
Also, that would be something you'd see on an acid trip, is looking at Woody Allen in boxing gloves.
in short shorts and big red hands. Yeah, so he was like pawing at the kangaroo, and there's like there's a kangaroo that he throws a few punches at Woody, which I'm like, good for you, Jack,
Yeah.
which I assume was his name.
First name Kangaroo.
Yeah, of course.
Last name Jack. Okay, so these are some of the animals that he could have found in the Baffin
So what do you mean he
Islands.
could have found? Are these animals just indigenous to these places?
Yeah, well, I looked up the animals that were discovered. So
By him?
I didn't know if they were by him. I couldn't, so
okay.
then I found through the history of the Baffin Island, these are what
the
native islands that people did discover.
I understand.
Okay. The caribou, polar bear, Arctic fox, Arctic wolf, and Arctic lemon, narwhal. I hope to God he found a narwhal,
man,
dude.
Yeah.
Brought one of those babies back home.
I
Brought a narwhal over his shoulder, big horn. Hey, baby, look what I found. Just whipped
I wouldn't
out
even believe. I'd be like, you carve some wood and put it in a fucking whale.
a doofus whale. That's
Yeah.
what a narwhal.
Yeah.
A narwhal's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Big bulbous head.
Yeah. I think this whale's sick.
I would love to see video
His
of
spine's coming out of his face.
I would love to see a video of a narwhal.
I think they were discovered actually like in Norway. No, I really
Is
think.
that a yoga class?
Yeah. Yeah, it's $90 in Soho. Yeah, I think maybe by like the Viking Scandinavian people or in Canada, but like earlier. I think there's like paintings of narwhals from like the 1800s.
Okay, so maybe these were just, I don't know. Maybe
I mean,
these
it
were
would be
just-
sick. I'm here to talk about narwhals all day, but I don't know if he discovered them because
I
I
don't
feel
know if
like
he
I've
discovered
seen
them either,
old
but
art, cave
it's-
paintings of slippery unicorn dolphins.
Yeah. I think these were just things that were discovered
Yeah.
on the Baffin. I don't know if it was him, but I just hope that he found a
I bet you
narwhal.
can't have a narwhal in the aquarium. He'd probably bust out. He's got a, he's got a drill.
Just a day.
He's got a, he's got a
Just-
drill in his
yeah.
face.
And it probably spins.
Yeah,
Maybe they're hidden
that'd
talent.
be like if you send a prisoner to, if you send a guy to prison with a spoon coming out of his forehead.
Probably be like, we got to put him. Where do we put this guy? I just saw this TikTok of them catching a guy escaping in the pipes.
Whoa.
It was they dug underground to like the sewage pipe or whatever he got
Yeah.
into, and they sliced around the tube, and then they're like 1, 2, 3, and they lift it off, and it's just here, and they lift, and he's just going.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Man, that's got to feel bad to get that far covered in poop and go back to jail.
Yeah,
Oof. That's rough. Would he get stuck?
I think he got stuck
Oh,
because
man.
his face looked like he was probably gonna die.
He probably needed help.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's like, thank God you're
Yeah.
taking me to jail.
yeah. I go back.
Damn. All right, well, so what else we got in the
We got the orca, the beluga. I mean, a lot of fun whales.
a lot of fun whales
up in Baffin.
All right. So after he goes to the Arctic and he's, cataloging these narwhals and flowers and everything, I think he actually did discover a flower.
What?
I think George Putnam did discover a genus of flower or something.
Oh, wow.
I looked it up. It's
Oh, yeah, the Palmer
it's,
rose.
It's cute. You being serious? Yeah, the palmsetta. In 1929, he published a book called We about all the trips to the bathroom Charles takes. About Charles, it was worth it. About Charles Lindbergh's solo transatlantic flight from NYC to Paris, which is so fucking pretentious.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't me, it was we. Tweem. There's a you can't spell tweem without we
Without weem.
and a
No, no,
T
no.
in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh no, I guess tweem would be. Yeah, tweem works. Nice. It was very successful, Tweem. It sold 650,000 copies, earning a modern-day cool $3.5 million.
That's crazy.
That's ice cold.
Yeah, probably nothing to him too. Probably nothing to George. This guy's rich.
I don't know, man. I mean, that's got to be pretty good. I wonder how much of the cut did he got? Because that's how much it made for the author. So for the publishing company, they must have made,
What? Yeah, what's
at
a
least
book?
half that?
I don't know
Or
how much.
may-
I mean, were publishing companies taking advantage back then?
No, it can't be half.
Were they
That'd be
raking everybody
nuts.
over the coals? 20%? Let's say, what if it was 20%?
I love raking over the coals. It's a great expression.
Oh no, yeah. I had my therapist tell me that. Don't rake yourself over the coals. I was like,
oh, you met with
but
the
I
therapist?
like
I
it.
do want to hear about
I had
your
a 15
therapist.
minute. No, I just had the
Oh,
15.
you had an intake?
Turned into 30 because I'm a cool guy.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going tomorrow for the first time. Woo!
Hell yeah.
Since I was 20.
It's going to be good.
Every 10 years, I go to therapy for 8 weeks.
Fixed. Got fixed up.
Figuring
It's like an
myself
oil
out.
change.
See you when I'm 40.
In 19
Therapy doesn't work. Every 10 years, my life gets worse.
like a lot. In 1927, Binny, his wife, I'm going to point at you aggressively. Binny was taking trips to South America, slashing for the rainforest, looking for the next crayon, dog dick red. And you can only find it in certain jungles. Meets George Weymouth, this strapping young stud, starts an affair with him, who later
Whoa.
becomes their son, Binny and George's tutor. And this kid is like 19 years younger.
Jeez,
so
she's really robbing the cradle.
she's robbing the cradle, and we can get into that a little bit more in their relationship. But so he's published the book, he's successful. Binny's taking trips to South America. She's porking the niños. And I mean, she's like 40, and this kid's like maybe 19 or something, 20. I mean, it's probably pretty hot.
Oh yeah, but he's probably doing it for the dinero. This kid.
Yeah, for the Verde card.
Yeah, you
Absolutely.
salsa verde card.
Yeah. The Pico.
The huevos ran frios.
The Huevos land of the Frios.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, here we go.
Freedom con queso.
So they're doing all that, and in 1928, Putnam meets Amy Guest, who is one of my favorite characters. She had originally wanted to fly transatlantic, but her family is like, one, first of all, you're not a pilot, and two, you're literally a billionaire. So the family was like, we need to find, quote, an American girl of the right type. And lo and behold, they find the obscure aviatrix tying up cucks in the sky, Amelia Earhart.
Through George.
They tasked George.
Yeah. Because of the success with the book Amy contracted George Palmer Putnam.
She's like, what if we?
What if? And he's like, I see what you did there, Amy. I will find you a worthy lady for the sky.
Yep.
Of your choice. There's actually a lady I know about coming up in the ranks right now. She's been in the studio for a while. She's logged 500 hours of flight.
She's about to reach cruising altitude. You're going to want to catch her on the way to the stratosphere.
She's a rising star. She's not at 10,000 yet. We're going to get
past Halley's Comet, and then she
some
waved.
angel investors.
Oh, yeah.
Before she reached the heavens.
Well, she's going to need some angels.
I feel like that's what they were. Because Amelia was this badass tomboy.
Oh, yeah.
Who was, I feel like, they're like, you want somebody to go transatlantic? We got the Evel Knievel of the sky.
Right.
That's 500 million school buses she's jumping. We got to get her. And Amy was like, that's a great idea, George.
Yeah.
Go and get her.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, you can't put a billionaire on the plane.
No, their lives matter back then.
Right.
You can't risk
BLM.
Yeah, billionaire.
Billionaire lives matter. I think Amy was just trying to fly them to the island where they can fuck all the kids, you know? And
Let's see if...
They're like, no, I mean, I like that you're trying to DIY this, but we need to outsource.
Yeah.
To somebody who's not going to ask too many questions. Maybe that's why Amelia disappeared. They were training her.
Yeah, maybe she found out.
To go to Epstein Island, and she's like, what the fuck is this? And they're like... I'm going to send you on a trip you never come back from.
Yeah. Let's make sure to have somebody else fill up our gas.
Right.
Oh, don't worry.
It's all melted crayons.
It
smells just like gas.
The first plane that had the colors coming out of it.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. So beautiful. They don't think it's an emergency.
They're ready to message. Blue help.
Blue help. Is that orange yellow?
Looks like an Arizona sky.
It's so funny. She was like, I want to do it. And they're like, are you fucking stupid?
Yeah, you're a rich heiress.
Yeah, they're like, we need someone whose life is more disposable. How about this Amelia Earhart?
Yeah, she's from the middle of America.
Yeah, she's from Kansas. Nobody's going to miss her.
Yeah, she doesn't want to get married anyway. She's no use to any man.
That's right. And so...
Put her in the sky, see if she makes it.
So Putnam scouts Amelia as a good candidate. And they get together and they're kind of talking about the flight and like how they can promote the flight and everything. And they find out that they share a lot of common interests. Like they like hiking, swimming, camping, all this outdoorsy stuff, right? And remember, he's still married to Doffrey at this point, who's shagging a hot Latino down in Guatemala. Mm-hmm. And Earhart completes her flight across the Atlantic, and Putnam offers to write... Oh, this is your section. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Go ahead.
Putnam offers to write her book. Says it'll be easier to write if they shack up.
Mm-hmm. If you come over and live at my house,
come over. We'll write your book. We'll study for chemistry.
Sounds like he knew about the affair. If he's maybe this is a little game he's playing with the wife.
Yeah. I mean, the affair with Weymouth started. I think like a year before this was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So she's taking trips to South America. She's coming back smelling like, Southern Hemisphere penis.
Yeah, he's probably like, wow,
smell.
you sure go to South America a lot.
I'm going to go get some milk. A week later, she comes back with a tan.
You won't believe this. The only milk was in Guadalajara. Really, babe?
It was all I could find.
Yeah.
So the romance kind of begins when he's writing the book. So the book is called 24 Hours, 40 Minutes. It's the first book written about Amelia Earhart that was published by Putnam. She was the first woman ever to fly across the Atlantic from Newfoundland, Canada to Wales. And by fly, I mean be flown. Not a lot of people know that she was just a passenger in this transatlantic flight, which is like insane to me that she gets a book deal off of just riding shotgun.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what is she doing? She's like, can I have the aux? They're like, no, Amelia.
Come on, I got this new song. I want to play it for you guys.
She's actually a DJ.
Yeah.
She's trying to promote her hits.
Yeah.
Let's put in this mixtape. They're like, why are you here?
Amelia, what? You're annoying.
Yeah. Yeah,
she's just in it, and they're like, they're writing a book about me. And the pilot's like, what?
Yeah, they're like, you get the book?
What? I'm flying.
Yeah, it's kind of like just being a passenger, it's like, let's see how the female body holds up
Yeah,
at high
let's put her-
altitude. It's like putting a chimp in a spaceship.
Yeah,
You're
let's
like, let's just see what happens.
Let's just see if their heart rate goes up, if their boobs get bigger like we hope.
Right.
It'd be funny if that worked.
That's the procedure.
Cynthia went to the sky last week, if you know what I mean. She is looking great.
Oh, she looks great. Have you flown recently? Your tits are huge.
Tits are huge.
No, I'm just pregnant. Oh, so you're not allowed to fly.
Yeah.
Because they get too big. They blow up.
Malfunction.
Yeah.
R.I.P. They say the first person that died. Pour some out.
Or you know when you go up in a plane and a water bottle gets all like
Yeah, like
all
a bag of
crinkled.
chips.
Yeah. Yeah, your boob. You're like, is it gonna go back to normal? You're like, just uncork the nipple.
You flick it down in the air. Gets in there. Nice. It's like an air mattress.
So at first when I read this whole passenger thing, I was like, this is ridiculous. She's getting a book deal. She's famous. I mean, she even kind of felt like a fraud for just not being a passenger and not being the one to fly it. But actually...
Turns out that she was the aircraft commander. So meaning that any decision on the plane that had to go through her, she wasn't touching the controls.
Aircraft
You don't want
commander.
those- yeah, exactly. Commander. She was the first female boss in the sky.
She's not serving salads, baby.
No.
She's giving orders.
Yeah, she's not a stewardess. She's the CEO
That's right.
of the clouds.
Of the skies. She's the cloud executive officer.
She doesn't want to touch those nasty controls, but she can if she needs to, and she'll fly it better than you.
Yeah.
She is a sky dom, sky mommy.
Anything with mommy just really makes me laugh.
Also, flight.
Yeah, she's got to keep those soft lady hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to. It is cool though that she was like above them. I wonder if she literally sat above them. You know, like Captain Kirk in like a little command chair.
Yeah.
I don't think the plane was
No.
set up like that.
Maybe she sat on a book.
Yeah.
And this is all interesting because with the era of flight, women could get involved in flying planes basically because it was so new that men hadn't found a way to keep women from doing it.
It wasn't historically male because it
Yeah.
was so new.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is kind of funny that they're like, we didn't think of this. They're like, I'm scared. I
Yeah.
didn't think my wife wanted to get up there.
Yeah.
Right? It's frightening.
They would have done it correctly. They would have implemented something for like the ladies to not be able to fly. Like the only way you can start a plane is by a little plugging the dick in. Gotta insert the dick.
You got to get fully hard.
That's what you gotta. Yeah.
Certain men can't fly.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm getting surgery. I'm going to be, it's like you're colorblind
Yeah.
or you have too small of a dick to fly.
Just tell it. We'll tell everybody you're colorblind. Okay.
It's kind of like, I picture like the pinball insert, you know, when your one of your balls gets locked in.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta lock it in at all times. It's like the F-45 pilots when they get that suction cup.
Right.
You gotta put something on the head.
You get home, your wife's like, hey, can we maybe fool around? You're like, sorry, I logged a lot of miles.
My dick.
He's pretty
It's
tired.
Took a lot of G's today.
Took a lot of G's.
Can't take any P.
V.
Believe this.
Can't take any V.
Todd, last flight didn't clean out the dick helmet. It's like an old pair of AirPods up there. That things are yellow. Jesus Christ.
Dorothy's like, Todd yellow, that's a good color. Oh, yeah. Oh, also, wait, so...
What?
So when was the era where women, men, and, you know, people... When did they have open-air convertible airplanes?
I don't know when that was.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was that ever real?
I think so. The biplane and stuff like that.
Because when you started with the Wright brothers, it was like a lawn chair
yeah, they were
stapled to a
fully
glider.
exposed.
Oh yeah.
And they crashed and like broke every bone in their body a few times.
Well, sometimes I think one of them, had a.
How
had a bad
long did
one.
it take for people to be like, let's kind of make?
Let's carify this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're riding a horse in the sky at first.
Yeah,
It's just
what
open
the-
air.
It was really just a magic carpet.
Right.
You're just on that thing.
Just birds hitting you in the
Yeah.
face.
Oh God.
Like that's like because remember like in movies and stuff they have like even I think in that movie that Dunkirk. You remember you see Dunkirk? Oh shit! I think the pilots are open air. I don't know if they are though. But they have the leather caps and
They
the
have
weird
old
football
school,
goggles.
like the old school football uniforms is what it looked
right,
like.
and a scarf.
Yeah.
You know, gets caught in the engine.
You just get lynched by the propeller. Oh, maybe we should not do the scarf.
Yeah.
It's like an Incredibles.
No
like
scarves.
With it.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to believe they got out of that pretty quick. They're like, let's put a windshield on.
Yeah, please.
You know, to shield the wind.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
also,
fuck.
there's wind in the sky. I thought at a certain level.
I thought we could escape it.
I thought it was only ground wind.
Holy shit, there's wind up here too?
There's wind into like a lot of bugs. So many bugs in the sky.
Where's heaven? I thought, I wouldn't you think that like one of the first people to go at 10,000 feet, they're like, God? It's me, Amelia.
Especially because it does look like you're in heaven. You ever look at the plane
Oh,
window
of
sometimes? You're
course.
like, that's heaven.
Yeah.
If heaven existed, it'd be this.
Every time I'm in a flight and it's a nice day, I'm looking for a harp and a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. With wings, peeing on a drinking fountain, I guess. The babies are always like, I feel like people use that water. You know what I mean? If you like, what is that a sculpture of? Like, you go to the real place that this art was modeled off of. You're like, where are they peeing? Just into like the communal
Yeah, is it just a trough?
bath? Yeah.
Yeah.
Feeds into everybody's shower or something.
I once saw a comedian, his first joke was, he just opens up with, how come there's never any water fountains with girls pissing?
It's
good.
Tell me that one.
I know, I thought you would forget it.
Yeah, because you need a big basin. It's not as
Yeah.
directional.
Also, yeah, it's not going to be a straight stream. It's just going to be...
I mean, there should be sprinklers, statues with girls peeing. You
Little
can water
girls
your whole
hanging from
lawn. Yeah. The labia is the wand that waves around. There's kids jumping through it.
The sprinkler of life. Okay, so they start dating.
Who starts dating?
So Amelia's living with George Palmer Putnam. They finish the book.
They are bunking up.
They're living in the house. I
Yeah.
don't think she ever moved out because now they start there's a divorce.
There's a divorce.
Dorothy comes back at some point, divorces George Palmer
Smelling
Putnam.
a cacao.
Apparently, she moves out during a house party.
Oh my God, you're right. I
Yeah.
forgot about that. Middle of a house party and I think Rye they moved back to.
So you got to wonder what that looked like.
Yeah.
Was she being a real bitch about it? Was she moving like a couch downstairs in front of everybody
Right.
with her new South American helpers? Right. Just says the whole familia.
She comes back with a band of Oompa Loompas to help her out move
She's
everything.
only speaking Spanish. You're like,
Right.
you're not. Stop.
Ándale, arriba. La
Yeah.
sofa es arriba.
Yeah, George is like, ¿Dónde está mi esposa?
¿Quién es this bitch?
Or did they have a Rye Gatsby-style mansion where she just kind of like
Yeah.
snuck out the window or like went through the pool house?
She's throwing all of her clothes out the window, rappels down a sheet.
Yeah.
There's so many ways she could have made a big scene, or she could have like secretly like snuck a microwave out, just piecemeal one at a time.
Or was she kind of half and half? Was she like pretending to be like a hostess of the party and be like, I'll be right back.
And slowly shuffling things
Yeah,
out.
I'll be
They're
right
like,
back. Let me get that for you.
why do you have all the silverware on that platter? Where's the lamp going?
Yeah. Don't
Who
worry.
ordered the lamp?
You're drunk.
You're drunk.
You're drunk.
You're the one stealing.
was
You're
there
the one stealing from your own
Was
house.
there an ottoman? I had my feet on an ottoman like a minute ago.
I wonder if it was just like one box,
Sure.
like a cardboard box filled with trophies and like a little stress ball like from your office. You got a keyboard in there.
Dildo.
Right.
It's still vibrating on the way out. Shit.
I'm
Stop.
keeping the dildo.
The family dildo. Looks like a big crayon.
Dorothy filed for divorce under failure to provide.
Which is
That
crazy.
dick. Yeah, I don't know. It is
definitely
weird.
was parentheses.
That dick. She didn't request alimony because she had her own crayon money.
Thank God.
So I mean, yeah, she realized she didn't really love him. She was trying to escape the marriage, and I think she was grateful that Amelia had come along and kind of swooped up George. By the way, we got to talk about this. Amelia and Dorothy were friends.
Yeah.
They hung out. Dorothy helped finance Amelia's book, writing the 24 hours and 40 minutes. So like, she just threw a bunch of money at George and Amelia and was like, "I'll see you guys later." And then went to South America and stuff. But she also like hung out with Amelia, bunked with her in Boston for like 6 days. Maybe she tried some.
Maybe she tried a little bit.
Maybe she tried some Earharts.
Yeah, come on. You got to get a little curious.
A little airhead?
She's a little-
She dedicated the book to Binny.
Yeah, so it probably was fine.
And they flew in a plane together. It was like a little 2-seater. So like, I think everyone was kind of like, let's just do a little swappy
wife
noppy
swap.
right here. Wife swap. Yeah. And that she becomes your wife and I get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So I swap myself out.
I go down to Chile.
Yeah, I just tag her
With
in.
Jorge.
Yeah, she just was like, I'm just going to interview you to see if you could be a replacement wife, and I think it's going to work.
I think it's going to be good. I'll move out during his birthday party, and you be the wife.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So
she
they-
moves to Reno, by the way.
Very strange.
Yeah.
But she must. She probably was the reason they moved to Bend. If then she moved to Reno,
She's got
she
some
probably,
strange
Yeah.
choices. She's like, cheapest place to live.
It's the biggest little city in the world. You're like, what?
Dorothy.
So they start dating.
Yeah.
They pretty much start dating.
Oh, Putnam and
Amelia start dating almost immediately.
after the divorce.
This is 1929.
Yeah, that's the thing about Putnam, as we'll learn. He does not wait for the body to go cold
No.
before he But we'll talk about that.
He's very quick with his marriage, finding a wife.
Hey, you gotta have a wife.
Courting a wife. You gotta have a wife back then.
Yeah.
And there was nothing spoken about like a flame.
A flame.
It just kind of seemed
You're
like
right.
they could help each other out.
She's like, you know who she's like? She's like Alex Honnold,
Who's that?
the free solo guy.
Oh,
Who
well,
also
was he
has a girlfriend who's like first love is climbing, and then after Cinnamon Toast Crunch, it's his girlfriend. It's like he's always eating bowls of cereal in his van.
Really?
I think so. But I feel like that's like Amelia's first and main love is flying.
Yeah.
And they had like similar interests.
Yes.
It's kind of like you see someone's Tinder profile and you're like, my dream girl.
Yeah.
And
She likes adventures.
and traveling.
Cool. By herself, though. So they start dating. We find out they don't get married until 1932, but their marriage could have been an open one.
Oh yeah.
The thing about Amelia is she's a very liberal and progressive lady, especially for her time. As we talked about, this chick was a tomboy. She didn't need no man. She wanted to do her own thing. She wanted to be captain of the skies. And when it came to marriage, she didn't like the traditional idea of it because of all of her values. She didn't want to just be a wife. And she wrote a letter to George that probably, I mean, we're going ahead. It's probably open.
Hit me.
All right. Let me read the letter.
Let's read parts of it.
Okay.
We'll go paragraph by paragraph.
All right. Dear GPP.
Loving.
This doesn't really have a ring to it.
GPP.
Dear GPP. There are some things in which should be writ before we are married. Things we have talked over before, most of them.
This is like a roommate
I
agreement.
know, this is like a strange... Yeah, this is going to be taped to the fridge. Is probably where he found it. The lasagna is mine. If I catch you eating it again, I swear to God.
FYI, dear GPP, you must know again my reluctance to marry, my feelings that shattered there by chances in work, which means most to me. Whew, this lady was born in Kansas.
She's laying it down.
I feel the move just now as foolish as anything I could do, including fly across the universe, straight into the ocean. I know there may be compensations. Wow, what a way to talk about your love. I know you go down on me every other week maybe, but have no heart to look ahead.
On our life together, I want you to understand I shall not hold you to any medieval code of
Medieval.
faith. Oh, is that medieval?
Yeah, medieval.
Medieval code.
She's she's not a writer.
Yeah. On our life together, I want you to understand I shall not hold you to oh my God.
On our life together, I want you to understand I shall not hold you to any medieval code of faithfulness to me, nor shall I consider myself bound to you similarly. If we can be honest, I think the difficulties which arise may be avoided should you or I become interested deeply or in passing in anyone else.
Boom. There's your smoking gun right there.
Yeah.
She's like, look, if I meet somebody in Tijuana on a layover and he's chill,
I'm a fuck.
if he's got a room for the night,
I'm going to land my plane.
come on.
Yeah. If he's giving me a hanger, I'm going to slide on in.
I gotta. It only makes sense. It's kind of, it feels like an athlete thing where it's kind of like,
She's like,
look,
look.
I'm in the NBA.
Yeah.
It's getting thrown at me. So I can't
Yeah,
just
I need a dick traffic controller at this point.
Come on.
There's too many peens
I
coming
can't
at
just
me.
let George Paul's penis in me.
George Paul, he's like a beetle. Please let us not interfere with each other's work or play, nor let the world see our private joys or disagreements. Well, sorry, Amelia, we're reading this letter. In this connection, I may have to keep some place where I can go to be myself now and then, for I cannot guarantee to endure at all times the confinement of even an attractive cage. I mean, this lady gets it.
Yeah.
She's like, we're getting married, separate houses. I can fuck other people. I love you, but, I mean, she doesn't say that.
Yeah.
I must exact a cruel promise, and that is you will let me, she needs some fucking commas.
Mm-hmm.
I must exact a cruel promise, and that is you will let me go in a year if we find no happiness together. Very reasonable. I will try to do my best in every way and give you that part of me you know and seem to want. I mean, this is I mean, there's a few responses on Twitter that, people are talking about this letter. Some of them are like, she didn't love him, she never loved him. He published her book, he helped her out, but she's not really in this. And other people who are like, no, this is just like a woman who doesn't want to be tied down, Can't tie down a bird, you got to fly away.
What do you think?
I mean, after reading this letter again, I actually am kind of in both camps. It's
seems
not
like,
great.
Yeah, it does seem like she doesn't have too much love. Yesterday I was like, she just wants...
Yeah, me too. And then I read it again. I'm like, this lady is not in love.
No, not at all. But they did stay together. Also, I wanted to know if there's another document, like a second page, that just like talked about her kinks, talked about their agreements in bed.
What he must do.
Yeah, look, if we are to be married, you will wear the goggles.
You will put on the scarf, and you will not stop until it is drenched.
You will go down me as I ascend.
Yeah, he's like, what does that even mean? I'm climbing. I'm climbing.
We've reached.
Yeah, a little kink list. I mean, this is pretty official. And but George agreed to these terms.
He was cool with that. He was the perfect guy to have these terms. He looked like a businessman who knew what was up. He did. He knows what's up. He probably read that and was like, I know what's up. Look, Amelia, I know what's up. I'm wealthy.
You should have written his eulogy.
Yeah. George.
He was a businessman.
George knew what was up.
Who knew what was up. And it was Amelia.
She was always up.
She
until
was
she
up.
wasn't.
Until she wasn't. Maybe she's still up there. I don't know.
Maybe she got stuck in a
In a
loop, in a glitch.
Maybe she got stuck in
In a
heaven.
glitch cloud. Those are the hardest ones to find.
So right after they got married, Amelia, they did not have a honeymoon.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of furthering their whole, like, this is pseudo business.
Yeah.
Like, we fuck, we have a document. That's kind of our relationship. Right after the marriage, Amelia had to go on a 9-day cross-country tour promoting autogyros, which were kind of like pine box derby versions of helicopters. It was like a helicopter if you cut off the back and replaced it with like a piece of cardboard.
Yeah, it's very strange looking.
Like the back moves with it. It's
Yeah.
like half animal, half machine. It's pretty cool. And so she was promoting those, which I don't know who's buying those. And beech nut chewing gum. You love beech nut, you're gonna love these autogyros. Nothing tastes better than beech nut on an autogyro. People are like, I don't know what you're saying.
I don't know what any of this means.
Sorry, babe, can't have sex. Got to get in this half-a-copter and chew some gum for America. They need me, George.
You can't go to Acapulco.
He's like, every wife keeps leaving me.
Yeah.
They have no honeymoon. And, basically, George sets up all of her tour dates, speaking arrangements. She goes to colleges, goes to Purdue, speaks at women's conferences and stuff. And her the reason that she's able to make a career out of flying is because of George. He has the connections, and he has the business acumen. I mean, he's a businessman who knows what's up. And that's about as good as it gets when it comes to Amelia. So I think they had a pretty good partnership. And to their credit, we can say everything about their her willingness to not enter into a marriage. Sorry, her reluctance to enter a marriage or these weird terms. But she never exited it.
That's true. They were together until she departed.
Until she took off for one last time.
Unless that's why she flew away, but I wouldn't think.
I think maybe. I have my own theories about that.
She probably would have told him.
Yeah.
She's direct.
What do you know about this Noonan guy? Fred Noonan.
I don't know too much about the Noonan. I couldn't find the co-pilot.
Yeah. No, there wasn't actually a lot about him.
Maybe he was,
So he does all the promo work for her. He gets her famous. They're married for 6 years. And I think there's no reason to think that they weren't happy. I mean, if they didn't get a divorce, seems like she would have divorced him.
I agree.
In a heartbeat. Unless maybe they got their finances tied up. And she did say they didn't want their private disagreements to be aired.
Yeah.
It's so funny when you die, people can just publish your letters.
I know.
It's a little crazy.
Everything goes when you die.
Yeah.
Who cares? Are dead.
Yeah, come on.
Let's see how big his dick was.
Let's try to talk about him and become popular comedians.
Yeah. Let's read this letter that she never wanted anybody to read.
In the hopes it gets views.
Yeah, what about Zach and C?
What about ZC?
ZCP, Zach and Chuck's pod.
Citizens for the Indecent Exposure of People's Letters Incorporated. So they're married for 6 years. They had other books like the fun of it.
Yeah, there were other books that were written about her.
She's writing
by
books
George.
about how she got turned on to flying and how the vibrations made her feel good in her lady parts.
And her little sky diary.
Yep, she had
leaking some passages.
She had some sky diarrhea.
Yeah. Probably.
Oh, by the way, she's not like I always thought Amelia Earhart was like this dumb bitch who got lost.
Yeah, no, she's like
That's
very
not true.
I know, she was very accomplished.
Yeah,
and smart.
she flew across the Atlantic. She did it by herself again after she was, just a pasajero. Oh, she did actually the first transcontinental flight from L.A. to like, New York or something, which I think was the longest flight at that time for anybody. So she's setting all these records. She goes trans-Pacific, and then she's like, let's go trans-global. Let's do a trip around the equator. And so she maps out this whole thing, and see the plane they took?
Sick.
Big old plane. It's an Electra.
It was cool.
Yeah. It can carry 1,000 pounds of fuel.
Whoa.
Yeah.
1,000 pounds of cran.
Half a
That's
ton
a lot of cran.
That's a lot of cran. All right. So we got to talk about how she goes missing. Do you know it or do you want me to say it?
You can say it. I'm sure you have. I think she ran out of fuel.
No, the whole journey. Like.
No, I don't know the whole journey.
I know the journey. All right. So her last mission, it turns out, I have an apple in my teeth, was to go on a pan global, like around the equator, journey, and it was going to take like 40 days. And I don't know, I think she started in the U.S., and then she went across Europe, Asia, and then she's on the very last leg. It's like day 40 into her journey. She's a little bit behind. Could you imagine just like road tripping it across the world with Fred Noonan? Who's this guy?
There's nothing about
He's got to
this
be
guy.
a buddy or something.
Yeah, he's got to be at least cool
I hope so.
by Amelia's standards.
Yeah, they talk sometimes. They don't other times. She's like, Fred, we don't have to talk the whole time.
Yeah. He's like, but I like you.
You got to imagine those conversations were going on, you know? He's trying to mess around. She's like, I'm flying.
Yeah, I like
You're
doing
always
this.
flying.
Yeah.
You're never not Yeah, that's the thing we're doing.
Yeah.
Wants to hang out. I don't know. I feel like once she's in the sky, she's chill.
Probably.
She just needs her fix.
Yeah.
She's a little, she's a sky fiend.
That's what pilots like to say is it's the job with a different view every day.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like you have all these fun things where you know all this stuff. And I really look up to you.
I'm full of a lot of fun things that I know.
He's full of tidbits.
Not full bits. Ours bits. Tid.
So she's going on this transatlantic flight, and she's 40 days in, and their plan is to take off from Malaysia or some like place near the Philippines, and then refuel on this place called Howland Island.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of headwinds blowing, which is like, you know, when you're like riding your bike and you're like, why is it so hard?
Yeah.
I've cursed at the wind before. Riding up a hill with strong headwinds, fuck! Like before you taught me, that was just from the soul. Charles taught me to say fuck. Fook? No, you're close though.
You're close.
Fuck.
Sand it out. Sand it out.
Sand it out. Sand it out. Smooth it out.
Fuck.
Like the Vietnamese cuisine plus the last part of duck. Fuck.
Oh.
Oh. Thank you for putting it in words I understand. But she's going to Howland Island, and they never established clear radio communication back and forth. You know, it's like
Between
when we're on
ship.
the phone.
Yeah, there was like a ship. That
like
was
one of
supposed
them's
to be
on speakerphone, one of them has headphones in, and they can never get the Itasca.
Yeah.
Was what the ship was called. That was near Howland Island. That's like radioing, like, Amelia, hey, over here.
Go that way.
Yeah, she's like, I can't see you pointing. And they never established communication, and apparently she was like right over the island or the ship, like very close, which is just heartbreaking. She misses the island, and then she is repeating that she's going like north to south on this diagonal, and so that's why there's some theories. Well, there's a few theories as to where she went missing, where her plane went down, whether she's still flying. One of them is, you want to go back and forth?
One
Do
of
a little
them I like is
concentration,
that she was
64?
I like a quick one that she was a spy the whole time.
I do like that one.
Yeah.
That one's actually kind of ingenious if that was the real plan. Do you know what the spy plan is?
That she was landing in other countries and gathering information.
It's close to that. It's that the U.S. government was like, hey, I know you're doing this whole flying thing, but given you're a lady and all, in case you crash, go towards the Marshall Islands, which were then in Japanese control, because that way we can look for you, wink, wink, while actually doing reconnaissance on enemy territory.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, why not?
So who knows? Maybe Amelia was like, I'm a daughter to my country first and foremost. I can't marry you, George. I'm married to America. I'm a lesbian for Lady Liberty. Okay? I'm going down for the USA. And that was the first American kamikaze that ever hit Japan.
Yeah.
Pearl Harbor was a retaliation.
Years later.
They're like, hey, wait a minute. We found her. We're exacting payback. Yeah, and actually there's locals on Marshall Island that claim for decades, like, oh, yeah, Amelia was here. She was just, hanging out.
Yeah.
And so I do like those theories that she, like, somehow survived and then just lived and, like...
And never contacted anybody?
Yeah, she's like, I don't love George. I mean, we go hiking.
It's kind of a fresh start.
I can hike with people out here.
I got a lot of flight time, and I'm lucky.
Yeah, I feel like he was growing taller and whiter and hiding behind trees a lot and scaring people.
Yeah, it was just weird.
Yeah, it was an odd guy.
And I can fly, but we just don't need to tell anybody in the U.S. about it.
Yeah, so I do like, and there's this weird picture that I'll put up that's, it's like a black and white photo with two blurry white looking people, maybe? And they're like, that's Amelia, that's Fred.
I knew her back. Yeah, it's like a picture of somebody sitting down.
Right.
And they're like, obviously Amelia.
I know the back of her head like the back of my hand. Yeah.
There's also, there's a very funny one that's some guy alleged that she had made it back to America and used a, like under kind of like a witness protection program.
Oh, yeah.
And was living as like this, I don't know the name, so I'm just gonna
Irene.
say Irene Opal or something. And the only problem with this theory is that was a real lady who existed. So this guy wrote a book about that, and when she caught word of the book, she sued. She was like, I'm not Amelia.
Yeah.
I've lived a whole life. Here are pictures of me as a kid.
Could you imagine after Houdini?
He's like, you're Amelia.
Come on. Put her in a plane.
Yeah.
Put her in a plane.
Like,
if she flies, she's Amelia, and we kill her. If she crashes, she's Irene, and
we are sorry.
We are very sorry, Irene. Amy Guest's
and Irene, we are sorry.
Amy Guest's parents are like, see? That's why you don't fly if you're not a pilot.
You're going to be accused of somebody else.
Man, if Amy Guest was the original aircraft commander, they would have definitely crashed into the Atlantic.
Oh, yeah.
The technology by the time Amelia flew would have been enough to find her.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
They're like, we got to find these missing white women.
If they would have found her, though, because she was a billionaire, put more efforts into it.
Yeah. But Amelia Earhart, they never found her.
It's true.
A lot of people think she crashed into the Atlantic. That's just kind of like the most simple.
Probably what happened.
Probably. But there's also another theory that's not too different. On the diagonal that she was flying, she flew over this island. I forget the name of it, but it's an atoll. It's like a very small island. But during low tide, people think she landed on it. But you know this island I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, fuck. What the
fuck? It's like a sandbar?
No, it's more than a sandbar, less than an island. It's an atoll.
Okay.
That's what it is. Nosferatu, Nowasaki, Nokiyaki. It's something like that. Anyway, so some people think that she landed there, and people claim to have heard radio transmissions of Amelia. Like, it's Amelia, and then like a disoriented male voice in the background. Just like, I'm dying.
Shut up.
She's like, shut up. I told you, no talking.
I'm eating Fred alive.
There's a few pieces of evidence that I found very compelling as why Amelia could be on the island. One, they found the sole of a certain type of shoe that she's pictured to have worn.
Okay.
And the shoe size is 9. And so people were like, it's too big for Amelia's small, dainty lady foot. But apparently, if you're in high altitude long enough, your feet swell.
Whoa.
And also, it's cold up there, so you might wear more than one sock. And there were a bunch of ladies in the comments being like, look, I'm 5'2", I got size 11 hooves.
Oh, okay. They're like, don't discriminate.
I'm a regular big lady foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lady Bigfoot.
Lady Bigfoot could be a regular Bigfoot. We don't know if it's a man or a woman.
We don't know. I've never seen the genitals.
Yeah.
I've hardly seen the body.
Yep.
Or the face.
Maybe Bigfoot is blurry. That's the problem. Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah. That's a great joke. Oh, anyway, so yeah, and they might have gotten eaten by crabs or something. Coconut crabs. They can like cut open coconuts.
Yeah.
With their you know all about creatures and stuff.
I watched Survivor.
I know you do. What is there about Amelia? What else is there about Bedelia's disappearance? We talked about the Marshall Islands.
Talk about the spy. She could have been taken by Japanese.
Could have been taken by Japanese.
B.O.Dub.
Yep.
Tortured her, killed. Who knows?
Yeah. I like that. I like the idea that it was her escape ticket out of the marriage, and so that's why she became Irene. You know, and if you're Irene, what's the only deny?
Yeah, you have to.
What do you mean? You're Irene.
You're Irene. It's
She
just
has
like
a little post-it. What do you mean?
What do you
you're Irene. That motivates her every day.
Did this guy just like see Irene one day? The guy was like, "Look,
That's Amelia. As I live and breathe.
you're Amelia."
40 years later.
Yeah, it was always Amelia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand that. What a crazy person.
Like, what was the first thing that made this person conclude that Irene was Amelia?
Maybe he heard. Maybe he was at a restaurant and he was in a booth behind Irene, and then Irene was talking about flying, and then he was like, "It's Amelia." I mean, there had to be some, or the guy was just stupid, or he was a con man.
Yeah,
trying to sell a book.
Yeah, I like the theory that he overheard a conversation. She's like, when I was flying over the Atlantic with my co-pilot Fred Noonan,
and he's like,
wait a minute, is that Irene? Amelia?
Amelia?
I really think she's Amelia.
This is gonna be huge.
Yeah, or just like, yeah, she's no nonsense. Just like that woman I knew. Amelia. Like such small personality traits. She snorts when she laughs. Amelia?
This is too close.
That smells like her fart.
What size shoe is she wearing?
Who is this guy accusing her? Did he know her?
I don't know. It was very short, the thing that I read.
I know. I'm just trying to think of like what would make him so certain.
He had to be a
Irene
super fan and like couldn't accept her death.
Yeah.
But she did go missing.
She has to be out there.
And
Yeah,
then
this guy, like a crazy guy who also says he's Jesus Christ. Like, did they also report on what else he believed? Well, they also believed he was taken up in a spaceship, probed, and sent back to tell us about the importance of getting your prostate examined.
Yeah.
He thinks the prostate exam's a big thing, and we're all like, buddy, nobody wants that.
Those are gross.
You'll see.
Yeah.
You'll all see. Or maybe you won't, because you'll die young of cancer of the prostate. You're not jizzing enough also. And that's Amelia Earhart. I'm not crazy. Dude, don't get the polio vaccine, okay? They're putting trackers in it. Amelia didn't have it, and that's why we can't find her. If you had the polio vaccine, it would be so easy.
She's the one person that should have got it.
And I never say that. Only get the vaccine if you're going on a dangerous...
Also, they're listening to us via crayon.
That would be funny. If there's microphones in the crayons. That'd be funny if somebody, an anti-vaxxer who thought there were tracking chips in it, was like, also used it. You're like, yeah, I vaccinated my dog. I like to know where he is. You know?
Okay, so that's probably... She disappeared.
So Amelia's gone. But they're looking. Right?
They're looking.
Amelia's gone.
George looks.
But they're looking. George looks. George looks Pez. They search for 2 years. They search for 2 years before George officially declares Amelia dead. And in the same year, remarries this woman, Jean Marie Consigny James, who was 24 years younger than him. Very attractive lady, but that's probably a sticky situation.
Oh, yeah, he's got some baggage, for sure, that he can't put on a plane anymore.
Yeah, she's also like, look, I'm not going to marry you until you declare your ex dead.
Come on. You got to get over it.
I mean, are you still holding out hope?
You think she's alive for 2 years?
You told me you'd declare her dead last month, and you still haven't.
I know you look out the window when we fuck. Are you looking for her? Are you looking for her, George?
I'm glad she went missing. That's how we found each other.
Everything happens for a reason, George. Everything happens for a reason.
Just a few more weeks, babe. They're dredging near Haviland.
You know, you and every other Leo I met, won't let
here we go
of the
with the
past.
Leo thing.
Okay?
It's like you still want her to come back.
You set an extra place at the dinner table every night, George. You think I'm going to believe it's because that's where you want your seconds?
At a different spot on the table? I know you're saying. That's a crazy excuse.
I'm not dumb. I'm 24.
It's not the same thing
I didn't
always.
go to Harvard and UC Berkeley, George, but I'm not stupid. I have intuition.
I'm not 50, but I'm not stupid. And you're a Leo, and you're a lying sack of shit.
Tell me you want her. I don't. Well, then declare her dead.
You told me that if she walked through the door, you'd give her a hug. What the fuck? What the fuck?
She didn't.
He's like, she was me. I would hug her.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
We were married.
Why are you picking a fight about this?
She left you for the sky, George. Can't you get that through your tiny glasses?
Are you hungry? Is that what you need? You need to go nap? You need to go to bed?
You need to poop?
You need to poop?
Genie?
You need to take a little girl poop?
Little girl poop.
You still think about her, don't you? Fucking pig.
Fucking pig. Men. She wasn't even that hot. Like, why do you even miss her? She was not hot.
And so, you know, they're having some marital issues in terms of his attachment to his lost in sky ex-wife. And he's like, look, I'm going to World War II.
Yeah.
All right? I fought in trench warfare. Honestly, living with you makes me want to go back.
Yeah, I'd rather do trench than mental warfare, Genie.
You remind me of the rats that tried to eat my toes in the trenches.
So he joins the active military and intelligence unit. He's the captain. Then he rises to major. And then he comes back to the real world, and Genie decides to divorce him, citing incompatibility.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like it. I mean, you see a picture of these two together. It looks like Weekend at Bernie's. I mean, this guy is old. Doesn't sound like Genie was too much of a
Looks
treat.
like a high schooler playing a prank on a guy.
Yeah, I mean, what the hell is happening?
She walked him across the street, and he just held on.
Yeah.
You know?
Just dragged her everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to probably for all that publishing money. This
This
guy had millions.
Yeah, I don't even remember what this lady did, but they weren't compatible. She's like, I want to go to bars and discotheques. He's like, I want to sit by a fire in my armchair and think about the good men we lost.
Yeah.
Including Amelia.
Amelia.
She was one of the good men we lost.
She did look like a man, but we had a lot in common.
I liked that about her. It made me respect her more. I could look into my man wife and think, you know, this is a good man. This is a good guy. I could look into my man wife's just sharp jowls and think, this dude's all right.
This guy knows what's up.
He's a businessman too. Just like me. We're two businessmen in a marriage. In an open marriage.
The most manly thing two men can do.
Yes, of course.
Tip of the hat to you, sir.
He flies the plane, I do the books, and I spy on James Wythe-Combs' wife.
Mr. Earhart.
Anyway, so they're incompatible, and so this guy remarried, 1945.
Immediately. This guy's
unfazed. Unfazed.
Does not care. All he knows is you need a wife.
So he gets married to this lady.
Goes back to the wife store.
What's her name?
Margaret Haviland.
Oh, man. I bet Amelia wish she had some land.
Oh, yeah. Can't land a man. Margaret can't.
Not until... I wonder how old she was.
She looked about his same age.
Oh, tough for him.
Everybody else, Amelia Can't Land a Stan was... looked younger. I mean, Jeannie was...
She's like, I'm over Can't Land a Stand. They're like, what?
I'm trying to be funny.
Like,
I'm dying.
I'm trying to make humor. I'm scared.
I'm freaking out.
It's the sea. I'm over the ocean. I don't know where the fuck I am.
I'm the commander. I shouldn't be flying. Noonan! Last words. Noonan! Shaking her fist in the air. What if Noonan fucked it up? What if Amelia was like...
What if he's playing, putting his hands over her eyes, just getting bored. Like, they're at the last leg. He's like, are we there yet?
Noonan, shut the fuck up. It's like,
you know what? Starts punching her.
Yeah.
Hey, kid. Elbows him,
Yeah.
but she kind of loses track of where she went.
Or what if he was like, look, you look tired. Let me take over.
Oh, geez. Like, she takes a nap.
Yeah.
Noonan fucks it up. Maybe. I don't know anything about this guy. Oh, I thought that was a mouse. Thank God. What's up, Gabe?
Yo.
What were we talking about? What do we know about Haviland? Oh, they operated a hotel together.
Yeah, they went to California. What was it called? Stovepipe?
Stovepipe Wells Resort in Death Valley, California, which is like a 3-star hotel off the highway with a pool that feels like a hot bathtub.
Yeah, I looked up pictures of it. It looked
Death
like,
Valley?
Yeah, you're not. Why would you? These guys just like middle of nowhere for some reason.
I don't. The guys,
Dorothy
the wives,
and George Putnam.
This guy likes nature, though. I guess he's. I don't know. Death Valley, California, is the least appealing place to live, aside from guitar.
Guitar's pretty cool if you're straight.
Yeah, it's cool tar. Yeah, if you're straight and a guy, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah. If you're born there, I don't think you have to work.
That's not true.
I think that's how much money they have.
What? From
Yeah.
oil?
Yeah.
It's like the Alaska of the Middle East?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I think they have. I did a report on them.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
For the World Cup? For your employer? They're like, Charles, make yourself busy.
Yeah.
Do a report on Qatar.
Fly to Qatar in the company Gyro.
It'll take you 40 days and 50 nights. Time travel's
Everything will
different
be
than
over
those
when you're
things.
there. And the company will be
You'll either be in Qatar or behind a bookcase trying to reach your daughter. So he ends up just being a hotelier with his third wife, Margaret Haviland. George went on to create the 99s as an organization of 99 female pilots formed in 1929 for the support and advancement of aviation. Anyone who supported the group was known as a 49 and a halfer. Stupid. A little too close to heifer for my taste.
That's dumb. Yeah.
Oh, you're one of those 49 and a halfers? Yeah. They're not all fat guys. It's just fat ladies trying to fly. No one else will let us in. 99 pounds. Maybe that's how much you had to weigh. Maybe you had to be extremely
like a
thin.
jockey.
Right, a jockey. Yeah, yeah. That would be a reason for women to you'd be more included in certain sports because they just weigh less. Typically, not all the time, but are there women jockeys?
I don't know.
They probably come too much. Can't keep focus. Ka-chunk. I'm out. David.
That's the name of the horse.
Lucky number 1. Secretariat.
A picture of all them crossing the finish line.
It was a real money shot to close it out. So this 99 group just promoted women in air. I'll tell you, where I'd like my wife to be some of the time.
Where do we want our women? In the air. What do we want? Women. Where do we want them? In the air.
A woman's place is in the sky, according to the 99s.
Big kitchen in the sky.
Big dining cabin in the 747. Yeah, they're like, little did they know, they would slowly
Oh.
phase out female pilots into flight attendants.
They'll be in the sky, all right.
Oh yeah,
But they'll be pushing.
but they'll be standing up, buckling a life vest. Fuck, they'll be standing up, buckling a life vest
They'll be
around
offering a
their
lot of
chest
soda.
as people play their Nintendo Switches and don't listen to life-saving instructions.
They'll be hitting a lot of elbows.
Could you imagine being a flight attendant bombing every single day? I'm sure you just do it as like a, you kind of black out. Like you can't be up there caring.
No, that's why they are.
You
mean,
can't be
'cause they don't
looking
care.
at people's eyes being like, fuck, no one's looking.
No.
Except for a few parents who want to seem polite. They're like, you should watch. They're doing a good job.
Yeah, my stepmom's a flight attendant.
Really?
Woo.
My uncle applied to be a flight attendant.
Didn't make it.
No, it's Delta, which has a less acceptance rate than Harvard. I'm not even kidding.
You have
It's
to be,
6% of people who
bilingual
apply.
and like all these because they go international.
I mean, your personality, it's like a sorority. It's like a
Jesus,
skyrority.
dude. Do they pay a lot?
I don't even know. You do get free flights through Delta,
Yeah,
and
but
you
so
can
does
bring
my
a buddy.
So do all flight attendants.
Sure, Delta's one of the best ones, though. I think.
Good for them. I mean, but that's a
And you get to travel a lot, and I think it could be a little break from the mirage.
mirage.
You
of
maybe step out of the mirage of his mirage. But I don't know. It seems fun
to be a flight attendant.
for him. I do not want to do it.
I
He's
would-
also 6'5".
The
I don't know
oh,
how he's going to fit on that
wow.
plane.
I would. Yeah, traveling is fun, but like a flight attendant,
Flying is not
those
fun.
people and nurses.
He has the personality, though. He really could thrive in it. He's a
that's
very,
nice.
he knows, he has so many connections. He lives in Miami. He knows, the Bacardi family.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's just like a fun hang. It's like a big fun,
He's magnetic.
magnanimous, magnificent.
All of them.
All right. I think he's pretty
okay.
magnificent.
Richard, a lot of people, because of the fame of Amelia Earhart, many movies were created depicting Amelia Earhart's story on the big screen. And since they were making movies about Amelia's life, George Palmer
Guess
Putnam
who showed
was
up?
included.
GPP.
GPP. You down with GPP?
Yeah, you know me.
Richard Gere played Putnam in 2009 movie Amelia. That's pretty cool.
That's not bad. What else we got about I think that might be
I think that.
he just kind of lived in Death Valley, California until he evaporated.
Yeah.
I think he died of a kidney failure,
Yeah, I
which
think
is
so.
probably drinking a lot, pretty
Yep.
fun.
Probably drinking a lot.
Probably
man of
living a
his
good
time.
life.
I think he had a good life. He had a lot of wives.
He got to explore.
He also helped people achieve fame. I mean, he helped Amelia.
Oh yeah, he's very successful in his
Yeah.
career. He helped Amelia, disappear. He got maybe he did it. Cut the brakes. I can't stop. She just overshoots the island. Putnam.
She looks back. Noonan is a straw dummy.
What? There was never a Noonan.
You're just too caught up in yourself.
It's
You
too-
never looked.
She never looked back.
We call him Brooman because he's made of straw.
Straw Brooman.
Straw Brooman.
She didn't once look back. She was so career focused.
not look back
She
once.
didn't even realize her co-pilot was a scarecrow.
This is Dane Cook saying it. She did not once look back.
Not once. Oh, last thing I wanted to talk about was we should probably wrap on Putnam, but let's I want to finish this up about Dorothy and then talk about all them together as three. See who you'd want to be of the three of them. How about that? How you feeling?
I'm good.
Hurt your back?
My back is just I don't know, but it's from sleeping. I think weird.
Okay. On all that guilt. Apparently back pain's linked to anxiety.
Oh well, then that would explain it.
So let's talk real quick before we wrap this episode up about Dorothy Binney's husband, George Weymouth, the second of the four husbands. Which, by the way, her last husband, or maybe her third husband, she married four people total. Putnam, Weymouth, a random duke or a lieutenant or something, I think a military guy, and then this guy who is like a drunk abuser. It's crazy. He chased her one time through an orange grove and whipped her like 19 times. And Dorothy was someone who wrote in a diary, from teen to death. So we have all this info. And one time he came back from a bar fight, shot in the head twice,
Jeez.
and was still alive and
Jeez.
wobbled in drunk. Could you imagine your drunk husband comes home with 2 holes in his head and you're
Yeah,
like, what the fuck?
and
Can you just die?
Yeah.
What does it take? You drove here? How is that possible?
He's like, it's fine. I just need some frozen peas.
Yeah, it sobered me up, the bullets.
Made me think about my life.
Yeah, it actually shot the alcohol out of my brain.
Yeah.
It saved my life, if anything. Now, where's the whip? I want to taste some citrus. What a fucking monster. But I do like the part of Dorothy's life after Putnam where she's hooking up with this hot young, Hoven,
Oh yeah.
right? The tutor.
Spicy.
Also, it's good. It's good that both their names are George,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because even if you call out the wrong name in bed, no one's the wiser.
Do you call people's name out in bed? I never do that.
I've been doing it too much, I think. I'm
Okay.
doing it, and I'm noticing it, and I'm like, does she think I'm trying to remember it?
You say her birthday.
I say her anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Or
say
eye
my
color,
social
weight.
security.
Yeah.
Anything I'm trying to remember.
Yeah,
Facts
your
about the podcast.
Mother's maiden name.
Howland Islands, Margaret Haviland.
Yeah.
There's a lot of land that Amelia just couldn't find. Her relationship with George Weymouth is like a porn. Like they
Yeah.
met in Latin America.
Yeah.
He's the son's tutor.
Yeah. I feel like he knocks on the door and he's like, "Hi, is your son home?" And she's like, "He stayed late after school, but you can come in. Are you okay if I'm just in my towel?"
Seinfeld.
No, I guess it's okay.
No, I guess it's fine. Hey, that's great. George Weymouth Stallone. I bet she had to be some kind of hot for a 40-year-old
Yeah.
lady to. She's
loaded either way.
She's loaded. She was getting loaded with this kid's cum.
Yeah.
And George, they're all friends.
Yeah.
George traveled with David, her son, and George Putnam to Baffin Island on the expedition where he discovered the unicorn whale, the narwhal, the gnarly wall. Solid narwhal sound. So it's crazy to me that like Binny and Amelia hung out.
Binny and the Jets.
Dorothy and Amelia, and then George Squared and Binny hung out.
Yeah.
Like all the people that they leave each other for before were involved.
It's very like a.
It's like Friends.
It's like a Netflix show.
It's weird.
It's like White Lotus.
I gotta see
You
it. I
gotta watch
guess
it.
so many people have told me White Lotus, and every one of them has been white, and I feel like I gotta see it.
It just won 10 Emmys.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And was nominated for like 15.
Holy shit. Wow.
Yeah.
Talked about the middle of the party move out. Talked about the move into Reno. Yeah, we talked about Amelia. So I think that's basically it. So I think we're down to the question of who would you rather be of the three of these people? Because I want to include Binny. She was a Crayola famous, life of the party, didn't request alimony, overall good person.
It's tough.
Cheated, but everybody was kind of philandering in this episode.
It sucks because there's things about Amelia and Binny that are enough to make me not want to be them, but I love their lives. Crashing into planes is my number one fear.
It is.
And I also don't want to have a husband that beats me.
That was it was not a good part of her life.
But the rest of her life is pretty sweet.
Yeah?
And George, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think I'd have to say George just because the end of these two ladies' lives are too dramatic for me.
Yeah, I got to say George as well. I mean, I think Binny was probably richer and overall a more fun person.
Yeah.
Which is tough because you're like, maybe. But George did have to undergo losing his wife.
Yeah, but he didn't
And
have
then
to be the one that was lost. If I'm making
sure.
a choice.
But in terms of Binny, she just got to cheat on her husband with this young stud and then, marry two other guys. That's the tough thing about Binny. Everyone has like kind of a crucial flaw that I don't want.
Mhm.
I don't want to be married 4 times, but I don't want to have lost my wife and then be married 2 more times. And I don't want to be lost in the sky. So it's a real... What's behind door number 4? Is there anybody else? Can I be Amy Guest? I'd have to be Amy Guest.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, she's barely in the story.
No, she's rich and she's I think we should start picking anyone in the story.
All right, fine.
I think that's more fun because the sibling is like not the most interesting question
yeah,
always.
I would. Yeah, of course you're picking Amy Guest. She's a billionaire lady.
Well, there could be anybody else in the story though. What about George Weymouth, the tutor?
Well, I don't know how he ended up.
The tutor who found the MILF
Yeah, I
stuck
mean,
in
it'd be
the
hot to
refrigerator.
bang a MILF. I think I'd rather be Noonan.
You'd rather be,
Newman
well, because he
from
swapped himself out for a straw body double,
Yeah.
and he's living his life in Detroit as Irene Brockman.
All right, what's your decision?
I'd be Irene. Just getting that money, just poof. One day you wake up, you're Amelia Earhart in people's minds.
That's an easy lawsuit, like the McDonald's getting the hot coffee spill.
That really fucked her up. She had 3rd-degree burns on her coochie.
Yeah, but it's an easy win, is what I'm saying.
It's a hard loss. I would say it's almost a Pyrrhic victory.
Millions.
She had to get vaginal reconstructive surgery.
Oh, really?
Yeah. 3rd-degree burns. That's dead flesh. You can't.
Oh,
You gotta take that out. put it back.
Yeah, that cat is cooked.
Hot dog.
That
More
thing's
like a hot cat.
toasted. Dude.
I think I'd rather be George. Unfortunately.
George.
It's like 50, 40, 10.
Yeah.
George, Benny, Amelia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, George, I hope you feel brought into the light. I mean, this guy really, like, in terms of Amelia, he was really behind the scenes.
He was
But
very
he
influential. Very
But he's a huge
instrumental.
player. Instrumental, influential, monumental.
Quintessential.
Had good dental. Yeah, I think that might be it for the app. Subscribe to the Patreon. I chronicled it in the last week's episode, but I just had a big old tech hell of a week. So we're getting back in terms of the content. We got a green screen. I'm going to be probably just leaving it green. So it's going to be a lot of effort put into that. But thank you guys for listening. Follow the pod, leave a review, check out the Patreon.
Spread the word.
Spread the word. What else we got? You come to Freestyle every
Yeah,
Tuesday.
happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Follow us at
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Recording this on the opening night of Hanukkah.
Nice.
I
Grand
think that's
opening
what
night.
they call it, yeah.
The grand opening of Hanukkah.
The running of the Jews is tonight. You dress in all white, and then, they chase you with their horns.
They can finally show their horns.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I got to run that by Molly. Now that I have a Jewish girlfriend, I have to, watch it. And by it, I mean Fiddler on the Roof in Yiddish. She went and saw that the other day.
In
Yiddish.
Wow.
She's
does
like,
she
there's
know Yiddish?
subtitles. I'm like, what does that mean? It's a play. Subtitles. Somebody has a cue card, like SNL. Just you got to read that fucking poster board.
Heather went and saw this play about the first gay man in baseball, and you're naked the whole time.
Whoa.
She went and saw a lot of naked guys.
That's probably why they weren't letting him play.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't care if you're gay, but
You're
put some
naked,
clothes
dude.
on.
Come on.
This is a children's game. All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Have a good night.
Have a good night. Have a happy holiday, a happy Hanukkah, and
Happy
we'll see you
New
next
Year. I'm
time.
out of here.
Oh, yeah. Happy New Year. Chuck is gone. Are we going to record again? When are you leaving? Tuesday.
But I'm back in a week.
Okay.
We'll have some holiday stories.
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
All right, y'all.
Bye.
Thanks for the pod listens, and we'll catch you next time. If I had a seal, I'd name it Amelia Earhart.
Amelia Earhart.
He is. He's the reason that she rose to fame.
My seal, George R.R. Martin.
I was waiting. As soon as you said George, I knew it wasn't Putnam. Oh, my
What else
God.
is
Is he
there?
dead yet?
I don't know him.
Man, is that what the number is in Union Square counting down until we won't have
Jerry
any more?
Seinfeld kills himself.
It's going to be a while.
He's got 6 years left.
His material gets darker and darker. You wake up every day. It never stops.
What's the point?
Watch my
deal with life? Keep going.
Why not just die? You're alive. Well, you'll be dead for longer.
Why not get to it? I can't do his voice.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You can do it enough. Everyone
What's
can
the
do it
deal?
enough.
What's the deal?
What's the deal with my wife? She's always telling me, Jerry, stop threatening suicide.
Call
You're
those people out there.
you're
who
freaking
care
out the
about
kids.
you. There's a number you can call.
They release a bunch of unreleased footage
Yeah.
from comedians in cars where he's just trying to swerve into the opposite lane. It's over!
Jerry. Just Kanye being like, "Whoa,
Kanye. I wanted to have him on. Hear what he thought.
What is that?